This is our last session. Hope the retreat was helpful. Luangpor Chah used to say that take life's difficulties as your partners in developing parami, which is the only way you're going to develop parami. You don't develop parami when life just floats along easy. So difficulties are your partners in development. And yet I would not wish you any difficulties. I would wish you a life free from difficulties, good health until you're 168 years old, no new knees, bladder working well. But of course, life is different. So then I was just thinking of like a funny way of considering gratitude that thank you, irritation, for teaching me patience. Yet I would never wish you anything irritable. Thank you, betrayal. That's a difficult one, for teaching me forgiveness. Very, very painful betrayal, and so on and so forth. Different way of looking at gratitude. But mostly I was doing gratitude. Thank you, birds. Thank you, river. Thank you, trees. Thank you, orchids. Thank you for the breakfast. So one can, it's an extraordinary kind of situation we have here. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, Angel Group. And I think we'll go through the thank yous more consistently. So your partners in developing Barami, some of it will be the inner voices that we all have to endure. And so you'll be meeting many people. So you'll be meeting Beatrice. You know Beatrice? She's the one that always complains. So she'll come up and say, well, it's not good enough, and they don't do it enough, and I'm no good. And then you say, hi, Beatrice. I love you. I have always loved you. I will always love you. Right. And then Boris comes along. You know Boris? You know Boris? He's the anxious one. Oh, what's going to happen? My children going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? Are they going to cut my legs off and not put them back on? Hi, Boris. I haven't seen you for a while. I love you. I will always love you. And you begin to see that this idea that in awareness all belongs has a sense of acceptance of things that even we would think we have to get rid of. So I have to get rid of the voice of complaining. I should not be complaining. I should just be grateful all the time. But that's another voice. I. So if it's a should be voice, hi, Alex. Give it a name. With some humor. I love you. I've always loved you. I will always love you. And that's actually quite hard to do because the voices seem so very, very real. The voices of complaining, the voices of self-disparagement, the voices of whatever it says. And then you're always brought back to something larger, which is awareness, and something larger of the heart, which accepts things. So there's that. And I think that's basically what I've been trying to get across on this retreat, sense of awareness knows all things, rejects none. So you could say, thank you, sound, for showing me silence. That's a fun one. Because when I ask you, listen to sound, and then there's the stillness. And if you extend that even further, thank you for experience, for showing me awareness, because all experience points to consciousness, all of it, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, indifferent. All experience takes you back to this, your real home, which is rather magical. So you will be returning to your real home. And I certainly hope your real home is beautiful and harmonious. but it's not really your real home. Your real home really is the heart, is awareness. And then in your conventional home, in your home of family and friends, you do your best. You do your best to serve. You do your best to create beauty in your household, to create harmony. But it's bigger than you, right? You do your best, but it's bigger than you. And things happen that they happen. All families have difficulties. You get grandfathers getting their legs cut off and things like that, and sickness and confusion and misunderstandings, and then harmony and joy. So life's experiences are very, very rich. And we develop barami within both the good ones and the difficult ones, because the barami of confidence, the barami of joy comes from our successes. We do have successes, right? Things do go well sometimes. And the obvious things is to sustain a good moral practice. We'll do the 5 precepts. The voices of morality are voices of protection, hiriotapa. They're not the voices of delusion. So when, if you have a business partner that wants to do something which is going to be going towards illegality, don't go there. You'll suffer. So honesty is a really beautiful protective thing. And then when all else fails, come next year. So I am, again, as I said last night, sincerely grateful. I really am for your kindness and you're allowing me to try to express things. So if you weren't here, I wouldn't have the opportunity to test my own practice. So I do a lot of formal practice here, even though I seem to be laying a lot. But I do, the teaching is a way of learning for me, and then the feedback and all of that. So I'm grateful that you're willing to listen. I really am. And again, if you get an opportunity to share your insights, don't be shy. You have understanding. You've seen something, you've understood something, and then if you come from the heart, like I said, teaching is you have to test yourself. Do I really know what I'm talking about? Can I explain it? Then it's a good test. And then if you're in Ontario, just send me an email. And if you're in Toronto, Montreal, or Ottawa, we'll figure something out. Boston's a bit far. New York City's even further. So I think with that, I'll close and wish you well, and we'll move on to the next piece. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. So we thought we'd do a moment of reflection and quietness to remember the late Queen Mother, Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, who died, was it 2 months ago or a month ago? Something like that. And so all of Thailand and people who love Thailand are remembering her for her good works. And I'm not a Thai person, but I have been asking and learning about especially her work up country with the development of craft, and that's very close to my heart. So was it a couple of years ago, I think, we went to the fabulous, fabulous craft museum, and the quality of that workmanship was just stunning, just astounding. And then Yongpung was explaining to me how Her Majesty would bring people from up country, bring them to the facilities for developing craft. They themselves would develop the craft, their families would develop craft. And then the love of the upcountry people that they have for His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen, like Queen, for caring for them. People who aren't plugged into the big cities, they often left, very, very much left behind. And then for the most prestigious part of society to go to them. And I think that, some of the pictures I've seen of His Majesty, the late king, where he's kneeling down to some elderly lady, and she's up to him, and then the queen's there. Oh, it's just so very touching. So losing a mother is a huge thing, and we've had a chance to do a lot of good work here, and part of that is because the Thai royal family has protected the Sangha, has encouraged Buddhist practice, and so for that I am super grateful. And so may the goodness of our practice, may the goodness of our sila, samadhi, panya be of some benefit. May we share the merits of our actions and our work with Her Majesty the late Queen Unedited.